What's going on, guys? We're back here today with something a little different. We're going to be talking about the Cloud Defensive, Rein Micro 1.0, and the new 2.0. Alright guys, so this really isn't going to be a shooting video. What I want to do today is just highlight the differences between the Rein Micro 1.0 and the 2.0 by Cloud Defensive, because I didn't really see anything on the topic. So I'm not a flashlight expert, but I will be popping up some information directly from Cloud Defensive on these lights that you can find, on the packaging or even probably on their website. But it's just going to give you an idea of the differences between the two and which one may be better for you if they do continue to sell the 1.0 and not discontinue that. I'm not sure if they will. I don't know. This isn't sponsored by them. This is just me making a video. So let's get to it. I'm going to turn the lights off. We're going to show some differences downrange. I'm at 25 yards, so you'll get a pretty good idea what we're looking at 25 yards between the two flashlights. Talk about some, and that'll be it. All right, guys, so this is the Rein Micro 1.0. This flashlight popped on the scene, I would say like a year ago, maybe. So a lot of fanfare. Cloud Defensive has been making lights for some time now. They jumped on the scene a few years back with the OWL, I believe it was. It was that machine one-piece, low-profile Picatinny rail flashlight that was virtually indestructible. It's they make it with all the high-quality materials, and so you're getting what you pay for with this. This is at a price point that is similar to your Surefires and your Streamlights. It's that sort of quality of a light. But what I liked about them particularly is they're a small American-made company. I always like to support those sorts of companies when I can, and I wanted to try out their product. So I did that, and I was running this on my HK SP5 because I wanted a really nice high-end light to pair with a high-end rifle, which is SBR, obviously, MP5. Things that I found that I didn't like about it, the overall size was just a little too large. I didn't like sort of how short the cable is that comes with the pressure switch. So it's all, it's all contained, it's all fixed one piece. Can't make it shorter or longer. But it does limit you some in how you attach this and how you put it on your rifle. Now, most times if you're going to put it on an AR, you got the switch on top, you got plenty of cable, but if you're wrapping it under, you could run into some issues depending on how big your handguards are. Another thing to mention is, this is a bright light. It comes in at 1300 lumens at 55,000 candela. So what you're getting with a light like this is, more of a hot center and not as much spill. So this is more of a light for getting out there and staying bright at a distance. So again, I am not a flashlight expert. The basics. But for many years, lumens was what everybody was chasing. Everybody wanted to have the most lumens they could pack into a flashlight. Now it seemed to switch to candela, which is the more focusing of the beam, which sometimes leads to a less lumen, but you're getting it looks brighter because it's focused tighter into one location. But again, I wanted to just explain to you the difference of where the Rein Micro is going with the Gen 2. All right, so here is the 2.0. Now the 2.0 is overall smaller. All the dimensions are smaller. We're gonna show them side by side, but you can see here that it's slick, it's more streamlined. The head, the bezel is smaller, it's shorter overall, it's thinner. Everything about it is just a little smaller, which is what I like over the 1.0, because the 1.0, even though, now again, this is set up on the Picatinny mount, and there are other mounts for these, but I needed the Picatinny, and this is what it happened to come with. So it is gonna stick out further on their factory setup. Now I'm sure I could get a different mount to bring it up a little higher, to bring it up to sit on the top, but the problem with that is the length of the cable. When I bring this up to a higher position, I don't have enough cable to run around for the pressure switch. So you're limited on cable length. So I'm kind of stuck in this position, but to me, I don't mind it. You know, this is a small, thin platform in the MP5 anyway, so I'm not really worried about this giving that little bit of an extra, you know, width, even though it's not exactly ideal. So if we're talking about just the overall specs, so what you're getting out of this is a 20% increase in candela. So the Gen 1 was 55,000 candela. This is going up to 71,000 candela, but losing some lumens. So the original was 1,300 lumens. This new 2.0 is 1,100 lumens. So what you're losing in overall lumens, you're gaining in candela, which is going to make it look brighter because the beam is now focused a little tighter and has a hotter center. All right, so here we are with the 1.0. And what you're getting with the 1.0, as you can see here, you're getting, it's flooding this whole room. So with this range being 25-yard distance, and I would say the width of the room being 5 yards or so, it's completely illuminating the room. Now, to the eye, this 10-yard target, this 15-yard target, and then 25 appear to be very washed on camera. But to my eye, even the close 10-yard target, it's bright. It is certainly bright, but it is not washed out. I can see it perfectly fine. The 25 yards, again, perfect detail. I can see that. And you're even getting the periphery over here. I put a stool over here just for reference to see what else you may be able to see in a room if you're using this, or outside, that sort of periphery. How much spill are you getting? So you're certainly getting a nice hot center, bright peripheries in the spill. So we're looking at 1,300 lumens and a 55 candela center. All right, so here we are with the 2.0. Now what I noticed straight away is I'm getting just about the same amount of spill, I would say, inside the room, but the hotness downrange on 25 yards is much more focused and brighter. So now on camera, this looks like 25 yards is just washed out and it's hard on the eyes, but to the actual eye, the 25-yard target is perfectly illuminated at 25 yards. I mean, I can see everything. I can make out detail. I even get a little bit of periphery over there with the stool. The stool is not washed out. I got a very good focus beam, and it is not washed out to my eye. Moving over to the 10 yards. On camera, it looks really washed, really hot. But again, I got more detail, and to my eye, it is not washed. Even less so at 15 yards. It looks very hot, very washed out, but to the naked eye, it is a very, very good picture. I'm not having any trouble seeing any of this. Even with the white floors here, it looks very hot and reflective. To the eye, where you can see there, it's a little washed out on 10 yards. It's perfectly illuminated for me. So I think it is a great upgrade just off of these features. A little hotter of a center, so more candela, but even at 25 yards, I'm getting a really nice beam here. And what I'm focusing on is illuminated. And you know, if you're sighted in at 25 yards, you could certainly be pretty close on target using this as an aiming reference. Just like I showed in the lighting options, in my MP5 lighting options some time ago, you can use these lights as a quick target acquisition to get shots on without having to get up on your sight's eye. 1.0 here, 2.0 here. You can tell the 2.0 on this side has a brighter, hotter center than the 1.0 over here. It's very slight. You know, they say 20% increase in candela, and I think you can see that here, even on camera. This is just a little dimmer in the center. It's a little less. I would say that maybe in this view on a white floor, you can see that the 2.0 is definitely brighter in the center than the 1.0. While I think the beam almost feels like this is a circle. This is also a circle, but it's definitely brighter. So certainly we got that versus So it's definitely brighter, and that you can see it really well here. Definitely brighter in that center. But again, the 1.0 at 25 yards is still adequate. I'm still getting, I can see everything there. But with the 2.0, it is much better, like much better. I can see much more detail. It's much more illuminated on the 25-yard target than the 1.0. More lumens here, but overall less candela. Here you're getting less lumens, but brighter in candela. You can definitely see the difference. Surely see the difference. All right, guys, to wrap this thing up, this is the first time I've actually done them side by side like this. So the 2.0 is for sure an upgrade. Just in the way of light itself, I mean, not talking about form factor is a great plus, smaller, but it is definitely an upgrade downrange. Even just you saw here at 25 yards. It is throwing brighter hotspot to get more definition and detail downrange, just even at 25 yards compared to the 1.0. The 1.0 is not a bad light. You'll see from the specs that both of these lights are very rugged and have a lot of great features. I mean, these things can be submerged, I think, to 100 feet of water for many hours. So these things are very robust and very well built. Really, the choice is yours. I'm not sure if they're still going to make the 1.0s. They may. But definitely the 2.0, if you're going to get one, you haven't had one yet, just get the 2.0 because it is an upgrade over the 1.0. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. I'll see you next time.